Okay. So, last class we have discussed about that outcome based framework and that mission, vision, program, educational objective, then teaching learning process, all kind of things. Today, let us start to discuss about approach to design outcome based learning. What should be the approach we should take to design outcome based learning? First one, systematically design and develop outcome based curriculum, which is very important. Systematically develop the outcome based curriculum, all details I will cover. Then develop appropriate ICT based pedagogy framework tools. Why I said the pedagogy framework tools? Because if I said I developed a outcome based curriculum and submit to NBA or something, and I not share with the students, and also only develop the top level of the outcome based curriculum, not the bottom level. I will come what do you mean by bottom level. Then what will happen, that the pedagogy which I want to follow in outcome based pedagogy is not effective. It is not effective. So, what I will do? Let us develop a tool or framework which can allow to share, to design, develop, monitor and review the outcome based curriculum based on the industry expert, based on the domain expert, based on the students. So, everybody take a part in the curriculum design, and also the curriculum is readily available to every students before they come to the class. Okay. Include reference to appropriate learning material. Now, I said I define an outcome, I define outcome 1. Okay, I define outcome 1, but unless I provide the appropriate learning material to related to outcome 1, then how do I promote the self learning? So, if I want to promote the self learning, I said define the goal, outcome is the goal, define the path, the resources are the path, and define a test item by which a student can test whether he achieved the goal or not. So, include reference to appropriate learning material for all defined outcome. Industry should include case study, unsolved problem and resources in the respective outcome. Include adequate number of assignment, practice problem and assignment, so that student can test whether he achieved these outcomes or not. So, we are not saying just simply design the outcome based curriculum and keep it secret with the teachers or somebody else, but not published in to the students. We are not saying that. We are saying design a structured curricula not only based on outcome, but also for every outcome include the learning material, different kinds of learning material you can include, and include the test item, so that the students can follow their own path. I will come later on. What will be the approach? The approach is outline of this approach, that choose appropriate, challenging, but achievable specific outcomes. So, that what is the first step? I take a subject A. I define the appropriate, what I said, appropriate, challenging, but achievable outcome I define. Then this outcome, how do I write this outcome? It is not that easy. It has to be written with clear, measurable terms and standard action verb using Bloom taxonomy. So, all Bloom taxonomy and instructional system design will be later on taught, but every outcome must follow that. Every outcome must achievable, measurable and challenging. And how to write the outcome? Using Bloom taxonomy and instructional system design. Once I write that outcome, a student know where I have to go, what will be given, what skill I have to perform, up to what level, that is defined. So, student know that, make it available to the students. Then prepare learning material to achieve this goal. There will be learning material, prepare the learning material to achieve this goal. There will be different kinds of learning material, some may be textbook, some may be paper, some may be animation, some may be NPTEL video, some may be Khan Academy video, some may be something else. So, all kinds of learning material which cater to the outcome, achieve this outcome will be defined by the teachers, and this can be modified by the industry, can add, industry can modify the resources and add relevant resources. Some domain expert can also add resources, and so it is an evolving process. Once I do that, what I covering is that if I have a large class, 400 student class, every students are not following the same learning style and same learning capability also, learning approaches. Some students are surface learner, some are deep learner, some are basic, very ordinary students. So, now outcome is given, material is given, test item is given. Now, every student can follow its own path to achieve the goal, but everybody has to achieve the goal. So, brilliant students may go through the difficult module, difficult textbooks and some other difficult text and quickly achieve this outcome, but slow learner who are not that much of intelligent, but they know I have to achieve this goal. So, I can follow, take their own space and follow him here. So, it increases the student engagement. If I am a student, I know I have to reach this goal, and throughout the semester I have to reach this goal, and if this goal, reaching this goal required, let us study some engagement time, without attending spending this engagement time I cannot reach this goal. So, it is increase the student engagement. So, systematically I have to design this thing. Now, I have already discussed that if you see develop suitable that the test item, I have the slide also explaining the same things what I have told, and then next I go to here. I am favor of reducing the lecture hour. So, once you design this kind of document, I will show you how to design this kind of document and readily available to the students. Once you design this kind of document, the goal is available, material is there, test item is there, then I do not have to deliver this material in the class, because I said I say the student will able to design a push pull amplifier of this kind of specification. This goal is there, and corresponding material for designing push pull amplifier is available, tagged in here. So, I do not have to deliver the same material in the form of lectures. What I will do? I told the students, let us today's class, this is the objective of this class, outcome of this class, and those are the material. If you follow this material, you can achieve this outcome. So, this may be a video lecture of your previous recorded video lecture, this can be a reference material, this can be a Khan Academy video, this can be a NPTEL video, does not matter. But as a teacher, I specify if a student follow this material, he can achieve this outcome. Then I told the students, let us you go through this material and come prepare with my class, I will test whether you achieve this objective or not. Once the students is come in the class, let us take a test item of this to test this whether the students is achieve this not, and told the students, are you able to solve this kind of test item? If they say no, then discuss where is their misconception. So, discuss unsolved problem, conduct formative evaluation to check whether the student achieved the goal or not. Provide individual feedback, yes, it is possible. Once you define the goal and material and test item, then the problem misconception to related to the achieving this goal will be reduced, boiled down to certain misconception. So, different student may have different misconception, but if I have a 400 student, there should not be 400 misconceptions. So, they will be clustered together. Now, in the class I will discuss only those misconceptions which is come out. Most of the time you find the misconception will be solved by the student itself. Very few cases teacher has to be intervened and explain the misconception what the students is there. So, it promotes active learning, it promotes student engagement, it promotes self learning. So, once I systematically design this whole material, then it promotes the self learning. Other way, even today most of the institutes are required to fill up the NBA document. So, once this is available for every course, fill upping the NBA document is very easy. I will discuss. Let us typically NBA documents has initially you see that mission and vision statement, then PO, then PO. So, here I have one thing is miss, one is mission and vision statement, then PO, then PO related to PSO, program specific objective, which related to PO of NBA. NBA PO, as per the NBA PO attributes, program specific objective is written down and top is program educational objective or outcome, and then each course contribution, course outcome contribution will come. So, we are not restricted to course outcome. We said you develop this course outcome along with the simple structures which I will mention later on. If this structures is available, give it to the students before they come to the class, it promotes the self learning. So, effective teaching in here, and if you done this thing, designing that NBA document which becomes very easy. So, let us spend some time on what is the meaning of mission and vision statement PO. It will help to develop the NBA documents, but the purpose of this course is not to that help you to provide develop the NBA documents. The purpose of this course is to what kind of teaching learning process we should follow, so that teaching become effective. Okay. So, now discuss on that issue, mission and vision statement. Everybody know what is mission and what is vision. Vision is a futuristic statement that the institute department would like to achieve over a long period of time. Every institute, every colleges, or you can say every the department also have vision and mission. So, let us institute A has a vision and institute A has a mission. So, mission is the means to fulfill the vision, and vision is a futuristic statement that institute department would like to achieve over a long period of time. So, institute A mission and vision, I can write down institute B mission and vision. It may not be same. Mission of institute A, mission of institute B may not be same. That. So, mission statement depending on the requirement, that what kinds of quality students institute A want to produce. Unless you can say why require different syllabus. I can follow the IIT, if the IIT syllabus is the better syllabus, I can follow the IIT syllabus to the every engineering colleges, but why the syllabus is different? Because the purpose of the institute to create a institute, the purpose of the institute is different from different institute. IIT mission and visions is different from any other institute, or let institute A mission and vision, institute B mission and visions is totally different. So, based on the mission and vision statement, what I have to create it? I have to create a program educational objective. Who fulfill the mission and vision statement of the institute? Different program. So, program educational objective or program educational outcome PEO will be depends on the mission and vision statement of the institute. So, PEO PEO, program educational objective or outcome. Here objective means instructional objective, which is basically a outcome of that program. So, program educational outcome will be different. Computer science program CSE of Institute A and computer science program 4-year computer science program of Institute B will be different, because this institute may produce the student to supply to local industry. This institute may produce the student to do high end research. It is based on his input and what kind of facility he has, and that kind of program educational objective is written. So, program educational objective directly related to mission, vision statement of the institute, and PO will be different from institute to institute. So, PO, somebody said, okay, let us write the PO of, suppose I copy the MIT PO, whatever the PO is written by the MIT, if I copy it, then is there my program will be better? No, because I do not have that facility. So, depending on that whether I will, this PO is achievable or not. So, achievable term is available, PO should be achievable. So, depending on my infrastructure, depending on my resources, I will create my mission and vision statement and PO. Then you may say, okay, I will create a PO, very shallow PO, but once you write down the PO, it quantify what is the minimum requirement. Then NBA said this PO does not quantify the minimum requirement, so you have to change the PO. So, PO minimum requirement, PO can be different level depending on the institute. You can say infrastructure, facility, input student, intake student, all kinds of parameter will be varies. Once I write down the PO, I have to write down the program outcome. What I said, that PO related to the P program specific outcome, which is followed the program outcome of NBA. Program outcome of NBA. What is the program outcome? 12 graduate attributes. If it is graduate program, then 12 graduate attributes 1, 2, 3, 4 in case of NBA. So, those NBA, once I write down to the electronics department specific, let us 4-year program on electronics and telecommunication, then it become PSO, program specific outcome. Once I define the program specific outcome, that define me what kind of subject I should offer to achieve this program specific outcome. This is the scientific aspect of designing the curriculum. Now, people will say, how do I design this kind of curriculum? In my opinion, you design the course outcome clearly and course structures. So, once course outcome not only reflects that what I taught in the course outcome along with the course structure, I will mention what is the course structure, will reflect what kind of teaching learning procedure I will follow and what should be the course outcome. I have already mentioned the course outcome can meet certain PO directly and certain PO parameter can be met by the how teaching learning process of that course. So, both teaching learning process and course outcome is important to match with the program specific objective. Okay. So, program outcome, once I write that program outcome for electronics, then it is becomes PSO, program specific outcome. Once I define the program specific outcome for each, I have to achieve all outcome. So, to achieving all outcome, I have to offer different courses. So, it may be iterative process. I define my program outcome, then select the courses, available in outcome based course is available. Then I can select automatically which course meet my POs, or I can define a rough PO given to the teachers that this is my PO, let us write down the course and course should map to this PO and I can match with the PO. And after matching algorithm, I found that this outcome is not matching, then I can change the course outcome to match this PO. I will come how this program matrix and those things I will come. I am not going PO details. Let us go to the course outcome. What is course outcome? What do you mean by course outcome? Course outcome is typically 4 to 6 outcome, measure outcome of the course which can students develop during the 1 semester study, or let us 40 lectures, I consider a 40 lecture course. So, I have a 40 lectures hour and 1 semester long course. So, I define 4 to 6 course outcome which will be achievable, which will be measurable, which will be specific for this course. So, 4 to 6 measure outcome, and if you say if the course is for graduate engineer, 4-year graduate engineer, none of the course outcome should be mentioned student will define this thing, student will describe this thing, because none of the PO parameter, whether it is Washington Accords or NBA guideline, has said the graduate engineer has only to define, only to describe. They have to have higher cognitive level. Next class, this later on the Tamali Bhattacharya will taught you what are the cognitive level of Bloom taxonomy, all kind of things. I just follow that things. So, higher cognitive level means not lower level, define, describe that things. They should be able to evaluate, synthesis, analysis, design, apply all kind of higher cognitive level. Once I write down this higher cognitive level 4 to 6 course outcome, and I said this outcome should cater to, has to be achievable by the 40 lecture, it should not be achievable by 20 lectures, then my course objectives or course outcomes are very wrong, and it should not be that it will be not achievable by the 40 lectures. So, as a teacher I have to find out or write down 4 to 6 course outcome which is specific, measurable and achievable within the 40-hour lectures, and which is not lower cognitive level. If I say student will be able to describe this thing, maybe 1 or 2 lectures is sufficient to develop this skill. So, that cannot be a course outcome. Student will be able to define Newton's second law of motion, that may require 30 minutes, not require 30 minutes, say 10 minutes of lectures. So, that cannot be a course outcome. So, course outcome is the major takeaway by the students, or I can say the course outcome or the major skill set which will be developed on the students after they attend the course. So, how to write the course outcome? If you see how to write the course outcome, there is a slide, this slide, that each outcome must be written based on the philosophy of instructional or based on the theory of instructional system design and Bloom taxonomy. What the instructional system design said? A outcome or a objective, instructional objective is a statement of something which is specific, measurable and achievable that students should able to do after receiving the instruction. So, each course outcome should be a statement of something which student will able to do after receiving the instruction. Means at the end of the course I should able to do this thing. If I say the students will able to design the push pull amplifier in electronics example. So, what is the problem? Yes, it is doable, design the push pull amplifier, but push pull amplifier complexity is very huge. So, for a 4-year graduate engineer I have to define how much, up to how much complexity I should handle this design, or they should able to handle. So, if I say for B engineer up to this complexity is required, then it adds the specificity on the objective, then means that this objective is achievable. Suppose somebody is starting aerodynamics or something, then he writes student will able to design an aeroplane. It is a very open ended statement, and it cannot be a course objective, because it is not achievable. Similarly, suppose I taught mathematics and I say student will able to solve differential equation. Is it objective? Cannot be, because there are a lot of differential equation available, lot of theories, lot of kinds of differential equation available. Within the 40 lectures or less engineering mathematics, maybe differential equation I meant for 10 lectures or 12 lectures. Within 12 lectures I can develop all kinds of solving differential equation. So, I can say instead of differential equation, I make it specificity, student for a given second order differential equation, student will able to solve it. That means, it added specificity, that up to second order is required for being engineer. I can say student will be able to design a AC machine. It is not possible. The complexity of designing an AC machine is huge. So, what kinds of complexity the student will be able to do, I have to specify. Once I specify that, an instructional system design is called, those are condition component and criteria component. So, a instructional, I can say a outcome or instructional objective should contain 3 components: performance component, condition component, criteria component. So, how do you write? For a given this thing, do this thing up to this. So, one side the given this thing is the condition component, do this thing is the performance component, up to this is the criteria component. So, I define what to do, what will be given, up to what level. If I do that for every objective, then I specify that objective. So, it may be a course objective, it may be a module objective, I will come, it may be a unit objective. So, when I write that course outcome or course objective, course outcome or course objective, it should be specific, measurable and achievable, and it should be unambiguous. What do you mean by unambiguous? That if you write student will able to explain the basic terminology. As a teacher I know what are the basic, but as a learner I do not know what are the basic. So, instead of writing the basic, I can explicitly mention what do you mean by basic. So, a instructional objective or outcome is not a single line statement, it may be a paragraph, but it should be specific, measurable and achievable. This will be given to the student, they have to perform this up to this level. So, sometimes we write student will able to understand different algorithm. Understand is not measurable, different, if I write such as, different, as example, basic, all are non-defined terms. So, instead of writing those terms, please specify the student will able to design this and this only, not other things. Okay. So, do not write the different things, they will be able to do different things. Instead of do different things, I specify which do you mean by different. Once I specify, then the goal is achievable, measurable and specific. For this goal, this material, this test item given to the students. So, students will read the material, try to achieve this goal by solving this test item, they test whether they achieve this goal or not. If they fail, they come to the teacher and asks for the clearance of the misconception. So, this added active, you can say the active learning, or it added interaction with the students. Once the interaction is added and the self learning is added, so I can say my teaching learning process catered to not only the domain PO, but also the domain independent PO, building communication skill, building self learning, building teamwork, building ethics, all kinds of parameters are catered if I follow this teaching learning process. So, I am not spoon feed the students. I come in the class and take a lecture from one corner to one corner of a board, and the students are copying that lectures, and at the examination I say who said this, define this, describe this, prove this. Does not include any student engagement, does not improve any soft domain independent skill of the students. So, if I follow this where you have to go, those are the material may be a text, material can be a video, material can be a animation, material can be a virtual lab, whatever you define it here. The students will follow the material as per their requirement. Somebody is a textual learner, he can read the text. Somebody is a visual learner, he can visualize the video or go to the simulation. So, I am not restricted to learn only through my lectures or text item. I am not restricted them. So, I am free to them that you have to achieve it, you follow your own path. This is the pedagogy inbuilt in this outcome based learning framework. That is why we said the outcome based pedagogic principle for effective teaching. So, this is the teaching pedagogy, teaching learning process is the pedagogy. So, what teaching learning process involved here? I am scattered to any kinds of pedagogy, that textual learner, visual learner, graphics learner, I do not categorize them. I have a different material is available to them, I have a goal available to them, test item available to them, and I told the student follow your own space, own choice to achieve the goal. Once you achieve the goal, you succeed. Now, slow learner may take more time, fast learner may achieve the goal quickly, and they come to the teacher for other things. So, if I follow this methodology, then I can say I am scattered to not only the domain independent PO, but also I have followed a teaching learning process which increase the student engagement, and I am scattered to different pedagogical principle for different students. So, this is the advantage. So, next class I will describe how do you design this outcome based curriculum for every course. I am not talking about the PO and CO matching, that I can take another class, but I will definitely explain what should be the course curriculum, not only the course outcome, what should the module outcome, and what should be the structure which can define this kind of which can cater to this kind of domain independent POs, and which can allow the different pedagogy inside this for different students. Okay? So, next class I will demonstrate the software where basically I will demonstrate the structure to develop the course for every teachers. Once you develop this course, then you can give the whole document to the students for their self learning, and once they start to learn it, so that their engagement will be increases, because they are learning by self. So, next class I will demonstrate that software. Okay? Thank you.